All right, what's up, Pep Man Matt Morrow? Welcome to Friday Night Live. We started before midnight. That's victory. Oh man, what a night of high school football! I think we got a little bit to discuss. Whew, I don't even know where to start, man. So let me post the link in the comments if anyone wants to come on and talk about their favorite team. So we'll get that up here. If you're watching on Facebook, you'll be able to see the link as I post it here in just a second. We already got a comment. We've been on 30 seconds. Oh, all right. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Young man, there's the link if anyone wants to come on and talk with us. Or you can comment. That's always fine. Either way. But young man, Mr. Kyler Watson, talking about Audrey Kell. I picked Audrey Kell this week. I was in our predictions we do every week on Football Focus Weekly. They had an impressive win, 38-21 over Weddington to remain undefeated on the season. Um, that was I think that was a big statement win. That tells us more about where Audrey Kell stands in the grand scheme of things. We got some teams really making some big statements tonight, for sure. Jimmy, I was just getting ready to talk about it because that's where myself was, the producer was, and Illustrious was. Chambers, oh my gosh, Chambers Hickory Ridge, what a strong football game all through all four quarters. Of course, Chambers won 34-27. If you're just now getting caught up, excuse me, Dalen Hollywood Smothers scored with 7 seconds left in the game um, to get Chambers that victory. And we did an interview with him after the game. That's up on our social media, on Twitter and Instagram. We're working to get it on Facebook, but make sure you check that out. We also talked to Chambers head coach Glenwood Furby, um, and they had some Coach Furby especially had some very, very kind words for the performance that Hickory Ridge put together under Jupiter Wilson, their head coach. There's so many things I can talk about in this game. The relentlessness of Chambers, you know, taking the punches back from Hickory Ridge, a really back and forth football game. Um, Hollywood making so many plays for his team. Chambers had some struggles getting the passing game going. They put it on the ground with Hollywood and his offensive line, who stepped up and did a good job giving them some gaps to run in. But I give a lot of credit to Hickory Ridge on the offensive side of football. Alex Bentley, their quarterback, played an awesome game. His scrambling ability was a big, big plus for Hickory Ridge, picking up some big first downs, changing field position. Um, I think they did a good job of play calling, especially in the last touchdown that they got after coming out of a timeout, a rollout throwback play that you see on higher levels. You don't see it in high school very often because it's hard to execute. That was a great call. Bentley hit Saban McLaughlin for that big touchdown to tie the game, and then for Chambers that last drive, that was a championship drive. I mean, they went 80 yards and got that score with 7 seconds left. Excuse me. But just incredible, incredible high level football on both sides. It was great coaching going on both sides. Great chess matches, um, and there were some really good plays, just individual plays made on both sides, and that's what you want. When you get two really good football teams together. So that was a lot of fun. We'll have some highlights up later tonight when we get a chance to settle down and get everything that we got a whole bunch of pictures. And I told you about the interviews that are already up. So, enjoy all of those. But, of course, we had a lot of other football games going on tonight. Mr. Muhammad sharing us, another crazy game. South Point winning 51-37 over Shelby. South Point had a huge lead in that game, and we had Kenneth, the engine, and Professor there. I think he's still driving back home. He may be able to join us. Oh, I've got to send him the information to join us, so he'll get on here once I do my job. But just an incredible performance once again by South Point. But for Shelby, you got to give a lot of credit to them. They didn't give up. They made this a one-score game. They cut it to 44-37. And from what I understand, they had a chance to have a drive to tie the game, and they weren't able to quite get over the hump. It's always hard when you're trying to make a huge comeback to keep that momentum going for so long. But I mean that's a testament to, I think, both teams for sure with that kind of performance at a high level for two really storied programs. And then once again, kudos to both of those teams for making this game happen. This game was not scheduled. It happened once again because of COVID and, two teams needing a game, and it just happened to be two great programs agreeing to do this on, I think it was Wednesday, and, putting that together for, maybe a day and a half notice for a game of this magnitude is just amazing. So shout out to both coaching staffs and all of the entities that were involved excuse me, in making that happen. Joe Hughes was there. He's also sharing. Shelby never panicked. Shell shocked maybe, but never panicked. So, once again, great teams, don't, collapse in the heat of pressure and everything going on around them. So, kudos to both of those programs for sure. Let's see. So back to AK and Weddington. So here's Mr. Curtis. Wow, that's impressive for the second half for AK. Good stuff. And yeah, Coach Jocham, yeah, he's doing an excellent job. Especially the most impressive thing is offensively. They scored 38 points. Losing the talent they did on the offensive side of football against a very strong defensive team in Weddington. So, kudos once again to Audrey Kell for that performance. Yep, Independence did win 51-0. We had two people there. The Queen, Cherie, was there, and then our Justin Adams was there. They have interviews up on Twitter. We've retweeted those on our Twitter account, Petman704. They interviewed Coach Hackett, the defense coordinator at Indy, at halftime. They interviewed DJ, the Independence head coach, after the game. And I believe it was the running back, Amari Hakeem, was interviewed as well after the game. So you can go on Twitter, check those out. Karen and all you other Big Eye fans, congratulations to DJ getting his first ever victory as a head coach. That's awesome stuff. Oh, Tommy. I'm sure, Webb will show up, when he's ready to show up. He never runs from anything, so there you go. Let's see here. Yep. Great job once again for AK. That's awesome stuff. Miss Moten, congratulations. Jamie Richardson. JC channeled his inner TB13 in the second. Oh, wow. Man, that's awesome. Good stuff right there. And then, let me shout out Drawn. Drawn killed Highland Tech 70-26 at the half. Good Lord. That is crazy. That's an incredible score. And shout out to Drawn for, I don't even know if I ever seen 70 points in a half. Have y'all ever seen that? If you have, let me know because I'd love to see some tape or something like that. Good Lord. All right, so let's get to some other scores. I got the score stream ready to go. So I got to shout out Harding Rams. Harding, this is a huge win for Harding. 16-7 victory over West Meck. If you guys saw where Harding was in the spring, you would not believe the incredible progress made by that program and head coach Van Smith and OC LJ Johnson. I had to shout out those guys. West Meck came into this game 3-0 and very confident, and that is a huge, huge win. It may not seem like it, for some of the other big games tonight, but that is a huge win for the Harding Rams. And I want to congratulate those guys for staying the course and those kids working so hard. And I know they're having, a good time tonight. And, I talked to Coach Smith and, he said he was going to go celebrate with the guys in the locker room. And that's what it's all about, man. Those moments and, those victories when you work so hard and sometimes you get beat up and it's hard and you never know if you're going to see the light. Tonight was the light for those guys. So, congratulations. And, we'll see you guys soon. They know what that means. All right. Let's see what else we got here on the scores. We got Olympic. Olympic with a big win over East Mac 51-7 to remain undefeated on the season. Congratulations to the Trojans on that. We got Gaffney over Mallard Creek 38-14. Mallard Creek taking on the challenge going down to South Carolina. Rocky River with a big win, 34-14 over Sun Valley to get into the win column for the first time this season. Congratulations to the Ravens and Coach Gray for sticking with it. South Meck picking up a big win over Cuthbertson, 34-16, as they continue to roll on and establish themselves as one of the tougher teams to deal with in this Charlotte metro area. And possibly even the state with this consistency that, Coach Joe Evans is building with those guys. Very impressive stuff. I want to pause for a minute. Let's just think about this. We've got a conference that is looking really strong right now, and that is the SOMEC, because you got Myers Park, who I think they lost to Beaufort, Georgia tonight. No shame in that. Beaufort is a very strong team. But you got them, you got South Meck, and you got Ardrey Kill right now. And then you also got Olympic, a very strong foursome in this league. A league that, most people consider the SOMEC not necessarily the strongest league, but right now they look pretty dang on impressive. Not to mention, Harding sitting there at 2-2, and then you had a Berry team. I haven't seen their score yet. Maybe we'll get an update here in just a second. But that shout out to those guys and those teams. When we get to conference play, it's going to be really interesting to see who really separates themselves. We're going to have a lot of intense football games for sure, and I'm sending out a link to our group here, so just bear with me 1 second, and we'll try to get some more people to join me on the show here. My phone is acting kind of funny. There we go. All right. The next score, this one was a real surprise. We talked about Mount Pleasant a good bit on the show Wednesday night because we had Coach Johns on the show. And we had, so many Mount Pleasant fans join the show. But, and Kenneth, let me bring Kenneth on so he can kind of talk about this too. What's up, man?
What's up? Got home, man. It was a late game in Shelby.
Yeah, I know, man. But I was just talking about, and we'll come back to that in just a second. We got the producer, and we'll bring him on too.
Yo.
What's up? But I was just talking about Northwest Cabarrus beating Mount Pleasant and how much of a surprise that score was when we saw it come across.
Yeah, I got a couple of text messages while I was in Shelby from some local coaches, and that one caught me off guard. Have seen that Brennan Jones for Mount Pleasant had 16 carries for 162 yards.
Oh wow!
Um, Keegan Moose had a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, but I think Mount Pleasant was up 17-7 at halftime. And the Northwest, kind of like what they did last week in a loss, had a big second half, scored a lot of points.
Wow. I mean that is something else, man. Um, so tell us about Shelby and South Point from your perspective.
Man, what a just a big time heavyweight bout. South Point came out guns blazing, scored. Actually, they drove the ball downfield, ended up kicking a field goal in their first possession. Shelby responded with a touchdown. It was 7-3. South Point then just rolled the entire second half of the first quarter and second quarter. The score was 37-7, I believe, at halftime, and South Point couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, they'd shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, but they were big. Shelby looked tired. Shelby has an incredible defensive front. I've talked about J.M. Robinson's 2A defensive front. Shelby is even bigger and more athletic than they are. Number 9, number 8. I'm sorry, I can't hear your names. I was on the South Point side. But they are incredible players. Number 11, the quarterback for Shelby, incredible player. Number 3, wide receiver, incredible player for them. I thought that the game was going to be over. I thought I might even leave early. I've got a 7 and 8-year-old flag football game at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning I got to be at. I thought I was going to get some extra Z's. But Shelby came storming back in the second half. Their defense played lights out. They had a pick six. They had several big tackle for losses. They had several big sacks. They just wreaked a lot of havoc on South Point's offense. Shout out to South Point, though, for staying the course. There was a really pivotal time in the fourth quarter where Shelby could have tied the game. The momentum was on Shelby's side. But number 6, who was a defensive player for South Point, sorry, I didn't catch your name, gathered his troops around him, gathered the defense, and basically told them it's time for us to step up, and they did. Shelby had the ball inside of South Point's 10-yard line on a first and goal, and they prevented them from scoring. In fact, they had a turnover on downs. But shouts out to both teams, man. Shelby for doing North Carolina proud, Shelby for doing their program proud. There's so much pride in that group of men. Shelby's student section was unbelievable tonight. But shout out to South Point for winning a tough game, winning an ugly game. Those are the kind of games that if you're going to be a state championship caliber team, you've got to win. But Shelby, there is nobody in the state of North Carolina that can say anything negative about Shelby. Those kids played lights out. Number 24, cornerback for him. Holy cow, made several incredible plays.
Man, that's awesome stuff, man. Congrats to both teams once again.
Sorry, I've been home for 30 seconds. I'm still not.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good. Joe Hughes has several comments. He says, bet Ken has more chicken wings than me.
Subway. I was gonna. Yeah, the plan was to stop at Bridges, and went to the gym. Got home a little bit late. The boys couldn't find their tennis shoes. Long story short, we made it in time to watch Shelby jump on the pile, which the boys love. But Shelby, man, what a special place. From the very get-go, you know why there's such a rich program in the way that they treat you, in the way that they do things, the way that the community responds to them. It's a special place. I would compare it to a Kannapolis A.L. Brown in their heyday, but with more state championships. Not a knock on A.L. Brown, maybe a little one.
Funny you say that. Me and the producer saw Coach Newsom tonight. He was doing a little bit of scouting at the game. So, It was good to talk with Coach. For a few minutes.
I know that, Kenneth. I know that took a lot for you to say that, man. I give you props for, swallowing your pride a little bit, man. I know that. I know that took a lot of you to give Kenneth the Wonders some props there.
No doubt. Well, Kannapolis is one of those all-time community great feelings. Memorial Stadium, the Perch. If you've never been to Kannapolis, you need to go to a game at Kannapolis, preferably whenever Concord's winning football games and there's a lot of people there because the atmosphere is unbelievable.
All right,
Those backdoor comments, man.
Not a knock.
Compliment.
Not a knock. I played in front of 12,000 people there, and I coached in front of 10,000 people there. That's how it's supposed to be.
Amen to that. Producer, I'll give you a chance to share your thoughts on Chambers and Hickory Ridge tonight.
Yeah,
man,
wow.
Great game, man. And anyone in this area, if you follow high school football in the area, these are two of the top teams for sure in our coverage area or whatnot. And I don't think anyone, I know Chambers has been to the mountaintop recently, 2 championships in a row, but anyone who follows Hickory Ridge knew that this wasn't going to be a walk in the park for Chambers, championship pedigree or not. Anyone who's seen Hickory Ridge play knew that, those guys are well coached, very talented. So I think anyone who follows both programs knew this was going to be a great game, and it delivered. It lived up to the hype. It was very close in the first half. Chambers jumped out, and I believe it was third quarter, to a 27-14 lead. They had the momentum, and I think a lot of people probably watching said, okay, Chambers is going to run away with this one now. Hickory Ridge kept it close, but now Chambers is going to hit the gas and run away. Nope. Hickory Ridge kept fighting. They're a very talented group. Came storming back, tied it up. But, I think in that fourth quarter when it counted, Chambers, their championship pedigree came out. Hollywood does what he does. To no surprise, scored in the fourth quarter, got them over the top. But, kind of similar to Kenneth with Shovin South Point, you got to give shouts out to and hats off to both teams, putting on a great show. And one of my comments was I compared Hickory Ridge to Chambers right before they won these two championships. They're right there. They're right on the cusp. Jupiter does a great job over there, man. They can, despite the loss, there's a lot of positive they can draw from this, and I think they're going to gain a lot of momentum from this game. I know it's it's not anything they want to hear, but us on the outside, we can draw a lot of positives from that group, from this game. So, they really did put in the show. They didn't quit, and they're right there. They're right on the cusp, man. But hats off to both teams. Hickory Ridge on the cusp, but Chambers reminded us why they're champs. So till someone knocks them off, they got the belt. They're champs, man. But great game, definitely lived up to the hype. So curious to see how the season plays out for both groups going forward.
Absolutely, man. And once again, if you're joining late, as I shared earlier, we did do interviews with Hollywood Smothers, the running back from Chambers, 4-star after the game. That is on our social media on Twitter and Instagram. We also talked to Chambers head coach Glenwood Furby. Had some really good things to say about Hickory Ridge. You can check those out on Twitter. Working to get them on the other social media platforms. Real quick, though, I want to kind of cut off. Ken, if you asked about this game, and Reggie Lee gave us the update right there. North Meck with the big win over Berry, 30-22. And, the power of football folk. Ken, if you're muted.
I heard, my dude Reggie, I heard that there may or may not have been a particular coach for one side that tagged the other side's football Instagram account and maybe talked a little bit of smack talk. So I'm sure that the winning team had a lot to say when the game was over about that.
That's interesting.
Wow, I'd love to Learn a little more about that. That's kind of interesting right there.
We might have
Sometimes
to.
it's best not to say something before a game.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm big on talking your smack after the win, not much before.
Yes. At cookout. Look at Reggie. Reggie knows what I'm talking about.
Oh
Speaking
man,
of
this,
Reggie Lee, 3-0 JV head coach for the North American Vikings. I heard that the dude called the offense Thursday night. He called the defense Thursday night. He did his best E.Z. Smith the fourth impersonation, man. Reggie Lee doing big things over there with our dude DB.
all right, that's good stuff. We'll have to get them on the JV game of the week then soon.
Ooh, okay.
Good stuff. Oh yeah. By the way, I don't really mention it on here, but we do a JV game of the week every Thursday with highlights on Instagram, and we choose a JV player of the game. So if you got some suggestions, throw them out. I usually put it to a vote. Excuse me, a vote on Instagram, and the kids comment like crazy. And
Yep, 1,000 votes.
Reggie Lee.
I tell you, man, it's fun times. It's fun times. But let's get to a couple more scores here. Got the score stream going. Charlotte Latin remaining undefeated on the season. Big win over Forest Hills, 41-10. Congratulations to the Hawks. What a bounce back season for those guys. Metro Atlanta Christian bouncing back, getting in the win column, 13-7 over Covenant Day. Good win for those guys. Charlotte Christian 31-0 over Legion Collegiate. Getting things back rolling over off of the south side there. A game of interest you mentioned on the show, Kenneth. Catawba Ridge over West Cabarrus 21-14.
West Cabarrus JVs won in overtime last night
There
versus
was a
Copperheads.
triple overtime
Triple.
JV win.
And the car ride home on a Thursday night. Good night.
It's better to do it after a victory, that's for sure. Let's see. A couple more here. Hickory Grove going to 3-0 on the season, 14-9 over Lake Norman Charter. That's a nice win for those guys. J.M. Robinson remaining undefeated, 22-10 over Carson. Kenneth, you got some thoughts on that?
I didn't hear the game. I heard the score. My bet is Carson played a slow it down game. They used every second on the play clock before they snapped. It would be my guess. But James Robinson is not quite the explosive offense that they were last year. But their defense is phenomenal right now.
Awesome stuff, man. This one surprised me. Watauga beating Burns 28-20. Now, we had just saw Watauga lose big time to Maiden a couple weeks ago, and now, sometimes, and I hate to say this, but, you got to wonder if COVID was taking some guys out, in some games, and then now some of those guys come back. So,
Or took guys out this week.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's hard when you're trying to prognosticate stuff when you got COVID running rampant the way it is. Providence Day 53-0 win over the Carolina Bearcats. Huff big win over Cox Mill 48-7, flexing their muscle. Good gracious.
Who are the
impressive.
Carolina Bearcats?
That's a team that where homeschool kids can play. And
A
then
lot
some
of Carolina homeschools
kids.
teams.
Is that like Bishop Sycamore?
It's a real team now. They
I
ain't
just-
recruiting nobody.
Just
like,
wondering, man.
come on, they're reputable. They've been around for a while, man.
Bearcats?
Yeah, they're based in Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually went out there and covered them one summer and did interviews with a couple of their players.
There you go.
Legitimate organization.
Cool.
No Bishop Sycamore in North Carolina.
That's good, man. We don't want any Bishop Sycamore in North Carolina. That's a good thing.
Buford Myers Park. Final score was 44-17 in favor of Buford. Wow. That's a heck of a team down there.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
Oh yeah. Hammond defeated Charlotte Country Day 23-7. In Charlotte Catholic, this was a bit of a surprise. Blessed Trinity defeating Catholic 28-10.
There goes my picks.
Never would have thought that.
But you know what? Technically, Pep, I did say the Pope's boys. I did not specify which Pope's boys I was referring to. So, you know what? Give me credit on that one.
No, sir. No,
I have
sir.
Blessed Trinity all the way, baby.
As I said with your South Point and Shelby pick when you said the big S.
The mighty S. The mighty S. The mighty S.
We needed more
The
clarification.
Stallions is obviously who I was referring to.
Oh, now it's obvious. Okay. I want to shout out one of the Charlotte Catholic players. I got a message. Gavin Hood, who came to our last football camp. He got hurt in that game, and he's trying to fight through the pain right now. So Gavin, if you're watching, good job, man, and hopefully you recover soon. And he's got the picture with the CFI shirt on, man. That's real love, man. That's real love. Hey, man, we got to shout out Piedmont. Big win. They got it going down there, man. 34-28 over the Central Eagles out of South Carolina somewhere. I don't know where Central is, but Piedmont beat them. And that's a huge win for those guys. That's good.
Joe, let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, where is the Central Eagles, man? Central what?
I don't know. Somebody watching probably knows. We probably have a Central Eagles fan. I'm going to get some hate mail that I always get. But anyway.
Delete.
West Rowan over North Rowan in a fun game, 42-35. So those are all the scores that we have.
Yeah, Davy over Mooresville. Did I hear that correct?
I was trying not to mention that because I know Kyle's probably watching, and he was.
No, Zoom hasn't said anything. Say it.
Well, there's another one too, but yeah, Davy over Mooresville, 51-34. Wild game for sure.
The offense showed up for Mooresville.
A lot of offenses tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no, Piedmont. Oh, thank you, Terrell. Thank you.
Oh,
that was a rescheduled game. That's right.
Wow.
The score stream didn't have that update on the team, so. But that's still, I think that's even more impressive. Yeah, because
I know where Fort Mill is.
Here's the craziness that is COVID season. One of the games that Central Cabarrus was looking at rescheduling this week for was Fort Mill. They went with Oak Grove just because of the distance, and Oak Grove backed out on Wednesday on a rescheduled COVID game, and Piedmont was able to beat Fort Mill. There you go.
So tell me this. I'm one of those. I'm an optimistic person. I always try to pull the positive out of things, and COVID's a terrible thing. But given the circumstances, this is my personality. I try to pull positives from anything, even negative situations. So I feel like because of COVID and because of these impromptu games, we're getting a lot more cross-state games than we would normally get. We're getting a lot of those. So I think that's cool. It's almost like we're getting these dream matchups that we would normally get. Fort Mill and Piedmont.
South Point, Shelby.
Yeah, South Point and Shelby. Catawba Ridge and West Cabarrus. We wouldn't in a normal circumstance, we're not going to get these matchups. So if hopefully things go back normal, we may not get these. So it's nice to enjoy these because we're getting these matchups that we would normally never see. So it's nice to draw a positive from a negative situation. I think it's cool to see these games.
Huge. And once again, what awesome opportunities. I think that Butler has to go out of state to find an opponent. Nobody will call Butler's. Brian Hales calls a coach up and he gets a lot of voicemails. I don't know.
Voicemail. Like I'm nope.
A lot of voicemails.
Dutch Fork's phone is not ringing off the hook.
No, they were looking for a game. I don't think they found a game for Friday.
They were still, as of tonight, from what I heard from a coach who was one of them, looking for a game as late as Monday. I mean, that's how desperate they are just to get games.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right, I got to shout out. I know it's your alma mater, Kenneth, but I got to do it. Hey, this is big time, man. The Cabarrus Warriors, 49-21 over the Concord
On
Spiders.
senior night for the Spiders.
Oh, what a wow. That is a huge win for Jamie Bolton and the Cabarrus Warriors. If you guys don't know who the Cabarrus Warriors are, it's a combination of Cannon School and the former Concord Academy.
People know now who they are.
Yeah, those
First Assembly. Cannon School
First Assembly. I'm sorry. Yeah. So
which is now the Academy, I think.
Yeah, it's some kind of. Yeah, I should know that. I've been there a couple times.
My mom goes to church there. They've switched their name several times. I went to school there until 4th grade.
Well, I mean, Jamie Bolton is a heck of a coach, and Davey Green, your son, is a heck of a quarterback for those guys, and that's a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
Huge win. Davey, if you got some more details, feel free to share, man.
Yeah, I think it was 42-7 at halftime, Pep.
What?
42-7. I believe it was 35-0 at one point.
Took their foot off the gas, then.
Tough senior night for the Spiders.
Man. Ooh.
But remember, Coach Bolton came on our show after practice in the press box. I mean, he literally left the field and walked up to the press box. The lights were still on. The power of CFI.
Once again. And Cannon, I like you guys. I think I projected you guys to win that conference when we did the previews. So, yeah, as long as you guys, come out and play with that same focus and effort that you did tonight against Chambers, I think that conference can be yours. But as we have learned, take it one game at a time, because Joe Hughes has now created this hashtag Pep Jinx that he thinks that I did to Mount Pleasant, which I like that, because normally on the show when coaches come on, they win.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, just because it happens once, you don't call it a jinx, okay? Come on, Joe. I know you're still watching because you're doing all your work, Joe. I'm going to start calling you Jinx or something. We're going to bring Cowboy Joe back if he ever come back on the show.
He's just a writer, man. We're all online. No face.
All right, well, we still got 38 people watching. I mean, we've gone through all the scores. If you guys got something else you want to throw up on the screen, we'll talk about it. Or if you want to come on, the link was posted if you want to come. You guys are scared to come on and talk, man. We used to have, the Providence guy came on and talked, every week last year.
And Zoom was a frequent.
Yeah, Zoom came on, man. It's only 9:30 over there. What the heck? Come on, Zoom. What you doing, man?
Sorry, Rascal. You got a job out there. He ain't got a job for us anymore.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. He's working now. Yeah, that's right. All right, well, if you guys are done talking, we're done analyzing. We got a lot of stuff. Well, I got a lot of stuff to do.
7 and 8-year-old Ravens flag football team for the Kannapolis Parks and Recs makes their debut tomorrow. Expect the McClamrock boys to do big things.
You got the Houston Oilers run and shoot offense installed?
It is give it to one McClamrock boy and then give it to the other one.
So the offense is built around them, I see.
They're pretty good.
All right, well, apparently we can post this because Spartanburg is searching for a game for next week. So even on Friday Night Live, we will try to search and help people find games.
How can the South Carolina High School League be as bad as the North Carolina High School Athletic Association? Unbelievable.
I mean,
it is amazing.
Cross the line games, man. So hopefully, I'm hoping North Carolina team calls them up, man.
I mean, we just need to create like a Facebook marketplace, but for North Carolina and South Carolina coaches. Looking forward to it. What was that website we used to go to, where you could buy online? my gosh.
It's gonna be like this the rest of the season.
Craigslist?
Craigslist. That's where coaches just need to start posting on Craigslist.
Put an ad up looking for a game. I mean, it's gonna be a weekly thing. This is not going away. This is gonna be every week. There's gonna be somebody looking for a game.
Well, normally we analyze stuff on the show, but I mean, when we get to conference play, this is going to become a problem because now, what are you going to do? And I'm going to bring up the playoff system for the show next week. It's totally different, and I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to be very complicated because it's going to be focused on percentages, and if we get to conference play and you can't find a conference opponent to switch games with you or something or work something out, it is going to get ugly.
That's going to be a mess. You're gonna have teams that have played less conference games than another team. So it's like,
well, we saw that in the spring. That was the controversy with Lake Norman. Remember that? And Green Hope had played less games, and because of the percentage, they got in, and Lake Norman didn't. But Lake Norman played all their games, so we're going to see those kind of scenarios come up again, but it's going to be a lot worse because you see how bad it is compared to when it was.
And then it's going to be just total, even conference games, just total games, period. What was it? Richmond played 3 games total?
Yeah.
Got to make playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Butler might not be too far behind. Nobody wants to play him.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that on the show next week because that's going to be a very interesting thing when we break down the playoff formula. Oh, Miss Burlos.
Just like their mission statement. Provide governance and leadership.
Hey, now I will give them some credit. They did put out that thing about the
Cameras.
the fake links.
It wasn't
streaming.
I saw that email. I wondered about that. I saw that email come through. Fake streams.
I got hit as soon as Pep tagged me on a fake one. Immediately, I got hit up. It listed all the Cabarrus, Central Cabarrus Sports and me versus Oak Grove. That game was canceled on Wednesday morning. The handle had 0 followers and 0 followees. And so I posted that, and next thing I knew, the guy followed me. He followed Big Al Football, too.
Well, it's even funny because I retweeted the thing and said, when y'all going to stop with these BS fake links? And the guy that posted the link retweeted what I said.
What are they gaining from that? Man?
It's malware. It's phishing. It's that kind of crazy stuff.
I mean, you got to be some kind of. What kind of loser? I mean, let's think about this. What kind of loser goes and tries to get malware off of a high school football live stream? I mean, who really sits around and thinks about this crap? I mean, come on, man. You got to be some kind. I forgot we're live. All right. Anyway, let me end the show before I say something that I shouldn't say live. But yes, Miss Moten. I mean, come on now. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life to sit around and say, I'm going to try to steal information. Let me post this fake link to a high school football game in North Carolina that's not even happening, as Kenneth said.
Can I just say this before we leave? I've already pissed a couple people off this week. Shelby, awesome hospitality. $3 Gatorade, a little bit extreme. My 8-year-old needed to take a number 2 while he was dominating the South Point Goods up top. But there was no door on the bathroom stall. Number 2 denied. He came back and said, "Dad, no pooping for me. There's no privacy." Shelby, let's fix the door, please. Bathroom.
That's Webb, man. Webb needs to go this Saturday morning and fix that door, man.
Coach Webb.
Fix the door, Webb.
Get your people right.
Tomorrow morning. I know you're going to see this, man. Fix that door, man.
Good night, everybody.